Meet Celise, a UConn graduate and new supervisor with responsibilities at UConn and UConn Health. When Celise is not working, they absolutely love traveling the country in their RV with their family. This past weekend, while gathered around a bonfire with their loved ones, Celise's younger sibling, Braxton, who is in their second year of graduate school and exploring new career opportunities, asked Celise if there were any openings in their office. Celise informed Braxton that there were no openings at the moment, but if there were, the team would be lucky to have Braxton, and they would have so much fun working together. On the way back home, Celise pondered on the possibility of hiring Braxton, but seemed to recall hearing about a policy on this topic. What was the name of that policy? The policy Celise is thinking about is the policy on employment and contracting for service of relatives. And here's why it's important for Celise and others in similar situations to consider this policy. First, it's important to acknowledge that the employment or contracting for service of relatives in the same department or particular area of an organization may cause conflicts, serve as the basis for complaints concerning disparate treatment and favoritism, or lead to violations of the state code of ethics. Here's where this policy and its accompanying procedures come into play. This policy helps to protect against such conflicts and complaints and provide for the ethical and legally consistent treatment of individuals with relatives seeking employment or who are employed by the university. Now that we know a bit about the what and why of the policy, what else do we need to keep in mind? An important reminder for UConn and UConn Health employees is to stay away from directly supervising or taking any action which would affect the financial interests of one's relative. This may include decisions regarding appointments, awarding contracts, promotions or demotions, disciplinary action or discharge, assignments or transfers, approving time off or approving training or development opportunities, as well as conducting performance evaluations. This policy also prohibits a UConn or UConn Health employee from participating in any other employment action, including serving on a search committee, acting on a relative's application, or otherwise acting on behalf of a relative, except as noted in the procedures. What if an employee uses their position to influence an employment action of a non-relative, which ultimately benefits their relative? Would that be okay? If you're thinking no, you're correct. This would not be permitted and is prohibited under the university's policy. In case you're wondering, for the purpose of this policy, a relative is defined as a spouse, a child spouse, a parent, sibling, or dependent relative, or any relative living in the employee's house. Now, understanding what's required of us in terms of identifying and avoiding conflicts of interest is key, but remember, there are additional steps we need to take. Under the procedures of the policy, employees are required to complete a conflict of interest or COI disclosure form prior to taking any action that may present a conflict. This form is designed to assist us in disclosing potential or actual conflicts of interest, as well as documenting any mitigation action put in place to resolve the conflict. Want to learn more? Check out the policy, which is linked in the accompanying resource, along with examples of how to complete a COI form. Thank you.